All right, y'all, episode 3. And I'm going to focus a little less on sort of the nuts and bolts details of what I was doing in the private sector, working as vice president and general counsel for an oil field distribution company. But realistically, I want to get to just a couple of points at the outset. The things I've been talking about the last 2 weeks and the point of this video. I've been in roles that most people work their entire career to get to. And I did it before I was 30, 35. This is not to sit here and brag about what I've accomplished. I took a unique path and I don't necessarily recommend that path. It's not always easy. But I was constantly told, you're too young, you're too inexperienced, you're too naive, you're too much of a novice. You don't look the part. And that's what I'm trying to help you disabuse yourself of in your own life. The people that tell you that you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you don't fit the role, you don't fit some nonsensical archetype. Leadership comes in all shapes and sizes. In my instance, you came in this package. So, during my time, VP General Counsel, 2 big issues that hit my desk. Number 1, about a year into my job, a barrage of products liability claims. Now in the oil field, you're gonna have pipe claims. That's part of the game. That's what it is. But these are highly complex, highly technical issues. And again, objectively for a lot of folks, you're in over your head. Okay, fine. So in any event, got to manage these claims. Almost 13 on my desk at one point, about half of which wound up going to litigation. But this is the job you signed up for. This is what I've been saying in the last few weeks. You do not get to pick and choose the leadership battles that you're going to have to fight. Most of them are just going to show up on your doorstep. And it's up to you to decide whether you're going to step up or fold. So, highly technical, highly complex, multi-party, in, again, some of these instances, litigation, high dollar amounts, big threat to the company. Lots of exposure. And so in this instance, lesson 1, command and control does have a place. Now again, I've only been in the company about a year, but now we're in my domain. Now we're in the legal world. And this is where I do have some expertise. It may not be a lot, but it was more than anybody else had. And so I see these issues. I see what's coming down the pike. Product claim 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now we've got a pattern. Now this is a major issue. So I just stepped in, took all of it, every bit of it. Every single claim is now on my desk. That's it. That's how it's going to go down, because I am the most capable. I have the relevant skills. I speak lawyer for those areas where we needed litigation. So, got to manage those cases. It means I got to give up some of my regular day-to-day stuff. I got to give up a couple of accounts. I'm managing my own accounts. I'm managing a sales team. I'm helping them manage multi-rig drilling programs, line pipe projects. I'm helping forecast for our procurement. I'm helping with logistics. I'm doing all this stuff. So I've got to give some of it up because I only have a certain amount of bandwidth, and I've got to take care of these claims. And we did a great job. I had some amazing attorneys. I had some amazing experts, metallurgists, and technical people who helped me. You know, I'm the linchpin. I'm the conduit here between my organization and between these attorneys or between these customers. So I need to understand the technical nature of each particular claim. I need to understand those nuances. I need to learn some metallurgy. Okay, great. Let's go. That's what you've got to do as a leader. I know how I learn, and so I'm able to aggressively apply myself and get over those learning curves quickly to be effective. But the takeaways here. Every threat often contains an opportunity. And in this case, there were several. So as we're going through these cases, I start to get a very, very nuanced view of our own risk management, our own procurement practices. And again, I've only been on the job about a year, so I'm bringing a fresh set of eyes, a new perspective to the game. And this can be really, really powerful and really valuable because best practices, they're constantly evolving. And the reality is, yeah, things may be going great. They may be running efficiently and effectively, but that doesn't mean that it can't be made better. And so, as we're learning some things about our risk management, about our procurement, and just other areas of our commercial behavior, start to take note and start to begin those refinements. Upgrading the technical side of our procurement. Creating a master purchase agreement so that we're not negotiating every contract in just painstaking detail. Get the basic stuff set, and that way all we have to do is really negotiate, what are we buying, how much does it cost, and when is it going to be here? So, fix some procurement issues, tighten up some things, spot some risk management gaps. Ooh, boy, we need to address that now, not later. It will be a problem later. Right now, it's an opportunity. So we did those. We took that and we went ahead and made those changes. And not surprisingly, shortly thereafter, something hits us and shows us just how important that work was. So, like oil field pipe claims, another common issue for those of you who might be in the manufacturing or distribution space, trade cases. If you've been in the steel or aluminum business the last few years, or you've done business with China or some other countries where the US government has stepped in and told you that there are quotas and tariffs, welcome to my world, baby. Been there, done that. So we get hit with a number of trade cases, some of our key sources of supply. And these trade cases, they are as unpredictable as they have seemed over the last few years. Eventually something's going to come down and there's going to be a tariff, potentially, placed on these goods. On a particular company, multiple companies, they're very nuanced, but if you want to learn about trade cases, we can talk about that later. Nevertheless, we quickly learn that, wow, we took some really, really important steps over the last 6 to 12 months that are helping us out right now. Because when these trade cases hit, you've got about 3 options. Tear up the contract, renegotiate the contract, or in the worst case scenario, you've got to litigate. We did not litigate because our contracts were really well done. And that had a lot to do with me and a lot to do with some good attorneys and some very good technical people that helped me flatten my learning curve and implement better best practices. Again, my fresh set of eyes, new perspective, a different angle to look at things, my legal training, my past experience, giving me these tools and giving me just a different perspective on this stuff to say, hey, we can improve this. Just because it's running well doesn't mean we can't make it better. And that's leadership. Leadership is not sitting there and saying, things are great, I have nothing to do. It's stepping back and looking down the timeline a little bit, questioning what's gonna happen and how do we make sure that we're prepared? Or what opportunities are going to come up and how do we make sure we can seize them ahead of our competition? So in this instance, we turned a threat into an opportunity. So because of the work we've done, getting our contracts just airtight, we didn't have to litigate. We really didn't have to tear up any contracts. We were able to quickly renegotiate a number of them. Or in certain instances, go find new sources of supply because we weren't sitting on our hands. Saying, okay, this could go badly for our particular source of supply. We need to get other sources lined up now, not waiting to react when the decision comes down. And this is some stuff I had to learn. Cool. This is leadership. You're constantly learning. Never managed a products claim before. Yeah, learn to do that very effectively, very quickly. Necessity. Never dealt with a trade case before. Learn to do that very quickly, out of necessity. And so, knowing what I know now and talking with people in the industry and looking back with the benefit of some hindsight, I can confidently sit here and say that between the work I did on those products cases and the work that we did to make those trade cases less of an impact to our company, saved us millions of dollars. Because our competitors, some of them had to litigate with their suppliers. You know, those relationships get tarnished. Sources of supply disappear not because of government intervention, but because of bad leadership and bad contract management. You can blame the government, or you can get out in front and make sure that you understand what's going on in my industry. What are the things that I need to be aware of? So turning that threat into an opportunity simply by better practices. Getting aggressive with that learning curve and making sure that, okay, we see the threats. Now let's immediately take the action to go ahead and minimize them, or in some cases, turn it into an opportunity. So, to recap, leverage the resources that you have to make your life easier. Assemble a really good team. If you don't have the resources internally, go get them. Yes, they will come with a price tag, but the price tag that you pay up front to minimize issues will be so much less than the price tag you have to pay at the end of the day to resolve issues. Plain and simple. Problem avoidance is a hell of a lot cheaper than problem fixing. So, you adapt, you evolve. You put that good team in place. You put those good protocols in place. As leaders, you step back and you try to survey the playing field and see what's gonna happen. What am I seeing? What am I not seeing? Why does this look or feel different than past scenarios? And what do I need to be aware of? Constant learning. Constant learning. That is a fundamental aspect of leadership. And so, adapt and evolve. And so that's what I've been trying to articulate these last few weeks, is that you don't need to fit a particular mold. You don't need a certain amount of experience. You don't need a specific educational background to be an effective leader. You need these fundamentals though. Time management, organizational skills, attention to detail, not dealing with stuff that does not fall in your pay grade. Let that stuff go. Focus on the things that fall into your domain. So, next week, episode 4, moving from employee to entrepreneur, taking my talents to this Ascent Consultants venture. So, how can we help you? Until next week, have a good one. Thanks for watching.